Now at 10, the Minnesota Timberwolves back home and ready to play.
The Timberwolves trying to stay flawless on this young season against the Portland Trail Blazers.
Tonight, a tribute to the man who made them a family.
He really turned the organization around.
Ball loses the handle, look out.
As the team and Wolves fans honor Coach Flip Saunders.
And KARE 11 investigates.
I don't think I ever be normal.
Minnesota kids, homeless and helpless, forced into something even worse.
And I remember the first time you told me you loved me. That really hit me because usually at this level, people try to keep those type of feelings to themselves. And I'm glad we were able to say that, while you were here. But I just want to tell you, I love you too. Rest in peace.
Our top story tonight, an emotional display of appreciation for Flip Saunders. Tonight, the grieving Timberwolves family joined fans to remember the coach who dedicated his life to the game. The tribute included video highlights, a musical performance, and words of love as his players looked to the heavens. Among those noticeably absent from tonight's tribute as far as saying something about Flip was Kevin Garnett, and we're learning there's a reason for that.
Eric Perkins is live at Target Center to explain why, and he also has a first look at tonight's game highlights. What an emotional tribute, Perk.
Oh, no doubt. Not hard to keep a dry eye, for sure. And in the simplest of terms, I just don't think Kevin Garnett, I'm told, is just not publicly ready to express his emotions surrounding this. Keep in mind, nobody in Flip's family spoke on the video presentation either, and in many ways, Kevin Garnett views Flip Saunders as a father figure. He did, however, put a Facebook post down, and that was included in tonight's video presentation, but I think all in all, he's just not ready to at least go on camera or publicly at all yet. But I'm sure in due time he will. As far as the game, that's where they really want to make their statement tonight. Ricky Rubio finding a cutting Andrew Wiggins down the baseline. Wolves in front early on. They were rolling early, but the Portland Trailblazers stormed back, jumping into the fourth quarter. Wolves down by 5. Karl Anthony Towns with a huge basket, and right now we are in the waning moments of this game, and it is separated by just a basket. Portland 103-101 right now with just seconds remaining in this game. Now, as far as the game itself goes, a lot of new faces on the Timberwolves this year, and so the fans are going to have to get used to these guys, but really the focus from the fans tonight was that of the man who wasn't here, and John Croman has more on that side of the story.
That's right, Perk. The real mix of emotion tonight. We have these fans that really want to see these young guys click as a team on the court, but they really were sad about the man tonight who wasn't on the court. The city may own the Target Center, but it could be argued Flip Saunders made it a destination.
I feel like we have a really good chance of doing something this year.
That's the kind of optimism every home opener brings, but the man who put this team together won't be here to see if his magic worked again for the Timberwolves.
We were here about less than a year ago, and he was out there coaching, and now he's gone. It's very sad.
Over at the Mayo Center, fans got a chance to give their regards to the venerable coach.
I associate the Wolves with Flip Saunders and all the new players that he brought, and bringing back KG, of course.
It'll be too bad that he doesn't see this, but hopefully they can sustain the momentum they've gotten so far this year and go from there.
To honor Flip.
Longtime fan Nate Worden brought his nephew to the Flip Saunders wall.
It was just so sudden. It just covers you, and you don't know how to feel.
I will appreciate you more than anyone I know for one basic reason. You never changed.
Before the game, the Timberwolves and Trailblazers and thousands of fans watched some of basketball's greatest names try to sum up the Flip Saunders they knew. A basketball strategist and a man who wasn't afraid to tell his friends he loved them.
But I just want to tell you, I love you too. Rest in peace.
That was Milton Newton who had the final words there, saying that he loved Flip too. One of the best things we heard tonight is that Flip Saunders treated everybody the same, whether it was the superstar, high-dollar NBA player or the guy who was cleaning the bathrooms at the Target Center. He treated them with the same amount of respect, and that is a great tribute. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, John. Our coverage continues online. KARE photojournalist Ben Garvin captured fans' personal tributes to Flip Saunders at tonight's game, and you can find those in a special photo gallery at KARE11.com.
In other news tonight, we are watching a developing story out of New Brighton where authorities are working to remove a body from Rush Lake. Police say a kayaker found the body in water near some brush this afternoon. It is the same area where a recent search for a missing New Brighton man, Henry McCabe, took place.
Whoever this person is, very, very sad for that family. Whoever is out there that's missing a loved one, our hearts and prayers go out to that family, whoever they may be. It's a sad day for them.
Police say there is no public access to Rush Lake. The only way to get to the water is by using a dock at a nearby retirement community. A medical examiner will now determine the victim's identity and cause of death.
Within the last half hour, a portion of Interstate 90 in southeastern Minnesota reopened after a large anhydrous ammonia leak near the town of Elkton. That's an area located just east of Austin, and at last check, homes near the area were under evacuation. Mower County Sheriff's authorities say 2 tanks started seeping the chemical this afternoon. The incidents occurred on 2 separate farms only a half-mile apart. Farmers say one of them happened when an ammonia line got pinned by a tractor. The cause of the first leak is still under investigation.
We have new information tonight involving a fatal officer-involved shooting in Hutchinson that also left an officer injured. The state crime lab identified the suspect who was killed as 49-year-old Laverne Christensen. Investigators say they responded to a disturbance call last night and a struggle began. They say shots were fired and Christensen died at the scene.
Tomorrow, the parents of Jacob Wetterling will talk for the first time since authorities named a person of interest in their son's 26-year-old abduction. Daniel Heinrich has not been charged in the Wetterling case, but authorities linked him to the sexual assault of a Cold Spring boy in 1989. We will be in St. Joseph when the Wetterlings speak tomorrow, and you can find our coverage on air and online at KARE11.com.
Well, now we know the identity of the 5-year-old Minneapolis boy killed while trick-or-treating. 5-year-old Victor Rizia died of several blunt force injuries. Minneapolis police say the boy just got out of a car and was running across the street when he was hit at Victory Memorial Drive and Knox Avenue North. The driver is cooperating with officials. Well, a tale about a needle found in a piece of candy turned out to be a Halloween prank. Brainerd police yesterday sent out an alert after a mom reported her child found a needle in candy. Investigators now say the child made it up. Police say there were no other reports of candy that had been tampered with. Still ahead here at 10, post-game reaction from tonight's Wolves home opener.
Plus, the heat is on. Mother Nature serves up warm weather for the start of November. Belle?
Well, that's right. In fact, we were able to get to 70 degrees for the first time in 7 years. Let's take a look at Minneapolis tonight. It is a mild evening with temperatures still in the mid-50s, and these were the highs today. It looks like we have 2 more in store before we chill down to November standards. We'll have your 7-day coming up.
And next, KARE 11 News investigates.
She bought me some food, some clothes, and then we're gonna be sucked in.
Homeless and helpless. What's happening to Minnesota's homeless teenagers?
Of the thousands of homeless people living in Minnesota, nearly half are under the age of 21. Teenagers, homeless and helpless, and in many cases, targeted.
KARE 11's Jay Olstead joins us now with an important KARE 11 investigation. Jay?
Yeah, Julie and Randy, new numbers released just today by the Minnesota Department of Education estimates 18,000 students who attend public schools in the state are homeless, kids who are in shelters, couch hopping, or wandering the streets. And what you're about to hear is a horrifying example of what can happen when you're young and searching for a place to sleep.
Hello? Anybody home?
It's not just the fact that they are homeless,
You are watching a race against time.
but they're in danger.
Anybody there? Hello?
Under a bridge in Minneapolis, where homeless teenagers often sleep,
I don't want to wake them up. How you guys doing?
to downtown streets, where they often seek safety.
But if you guys know anybody that's staying outside tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, me.
Jose Acuna is trying to rescue young people caught between homelessness and something even worse.
Some days you don't eat.
Her face may be concealed,
Some days you don't sleep.
but her emotional scars are easy to see.
I don't think I'll ever be normal.
We'll call her Connie. Her story so traumatic, we're hiding her face and altering her voice. She says she landed on the streets because her mother was on drugs, her father was an alcoholic, and she was just 11 years old.
So I was just on the street.
Being homeless that young is scary enough, but what can happen next is truly terrifying. Connie is 20 now, sharing her painful story publicly for the first time, in hopes of saving lives.
When you outside and you homeless, you're gonna do whatever you gotta do once you get tired.
Desperate to stop sleeping on a park bench,
To be able to just take a shower or sleep in the bed.
Connie says she was approached by a stranger.
And she used to see me on the park bench all the time, so she just started asking me, like, you wanna come with me?
Outreach workers see it all the time.
Predators trying to offer the youth a place to stay. Sooner or later, they start taking advantage of them.
She bought me some food, some clothes, and then you're gonna be sucked in.
And soon there was a price paid in sex to men.
They do whatever they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it. As many of them as they want to do it.
For Connie, an offer of help to get off the streets was the start of a living hell.
We think that doesn't happen here, but it has to happen right here in Minneapolis.
how often is it happening? According to the Wilder Foundation, in Minnesota, 1 in 10 boys who are homeless report that someone pushed them to sell their bodies for sex. It's even worse for girls. 1 in 4.
All of you were homeless. Just ask people, homeless teenagers, just a few years ago, if they were targets too.
And they were kind of forcing me verbally to come with them.
You out on the street, you want to make some money?
God was like, do you want to make some quick money?
It's definitely scary. I mean, sometimes I think how lucky I am.
These kids weren't trafficked, but they admit they did just about everything else to stay warm, because too often they were turned away from shelters already full.
And is that still something that you see happening?
Yes,
yeah.
All day, every day.
People your age or younger?
Mm-hmm. Because either all the beds are full.
You might be surprised to learn that we discovered a lot of homeless kids are still going to school.
These young people who are so vulnerable.
Carrie Schaff works with homeless students in the biggest school district in the state, Anoka-Hennepin. Even in the suburbs, she says some of her students struggle to stay warm, sleeping in places you'd never imagine.
But that's a tragedy. Our young people, in high school, just trying to get a diploma, trying to survive, they spent the night last night in a porta potty. That's where they had to sleep.
Consider this. In just the last 3 years, Carrie says the number of homeless students she's counted has more than doubled, up 145%. And while schools are often a refuge, we discovered they can also be an easy target for traffickers.
But I continue to sell my body.
Remember Connie, the homeless fourth grader on the park bench, lured into sex trafficking by someone who seemed to be offering help? Listen carefully as she tells me who was offering that help.
I was in the 4th grade. She was in the 6th grade.
You heard right. She says she was lured in by another child, a 6th grader, also tricked into sex trafficking and manipulated into recruiting other kids. And as painful as it is to admit, Connie says over time, she was turned into a recruiter too.
I became a predator. I was preying on girls.
The cycle of homelessness and abuse had come full circle.
I shouldn't have did that to nobody.
She is one of the faces of youth homelessness, in the shadows, asking for help.
But I did.
Forever changed by the help she says she didn't get when she needed it the most.
You dream about it. You taste it, you still smell it. You don't forget.
Now, through a lot of hard work and help from the Link in Minneapolis, Connie has escaped trafficking. She's on the right track, applying to colleges, and those working with her say she's already helped a lot of people like her. We found all those young people we spoke through through advocacy groups, places like Youth Link in Minneapolis, as well as Hope for Youth in Anoka. We put links to their websites and other resources at KARE11.com. And tomorrow on KARE 11 News at 5, we'll tell you about a group that's fought hard and won to create more temporary housing for homeless teens.
It is just so sad, too, when they go and they're trying to find help at places like Youth Link, which is a great group, but it's just there are too many kids out there for them to handle on a nightly basis.
Yeah, all those folks that advocacy workers that we spoke to are working so hard, so tirelessly, but they need more help.
Of the 18,000 that you referred to before the story started tonight, is that mostly Twin Cities? Is that statewide?
That's statewide.
Is it
so
really?
Every county or every school district surveys this. Yep.
Wow.
So some of those are on their own, many of those with their families in shelters. But yeah, it's a lot of kids.
Wow.
Thanks so much. It was a great report, Jay. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jay.
Let's head outside now. Belinda's got to look at our forecast. Hi, Belle.
Well, hi guys. You know, it looks as though we're going to have another couple of really nice days, and a lot of folks were enjoying these beautiful temperatures. Let's take a look at some of your photos. We do appreciate you sharing them with us, and we'd love to see more. Take a look at a few of these. This one, of course, from gorgeous Stillwater today from Shelley. As you can see, this one is actually from Garrison. Claire took this picture from her cabin up north. James Hunt took this picture in Finlayson over the weekend. Look at how gorgeous it still was. Beautiful rainbow there. Thanks, James. And this one came in from Arden Hills from Edward, as he called it, fall is finally fleeting. But wow, today it was a good one. 70 in the Twin Cities for the first time since 2008. 72 in Blaine, 72 in Crystal, 71 in Eden Prairie, 66 in Cambridge, 70 Glencoe, and 70 degrees as well in Maple Lake. So as I mentioned, the last time this did happen was back in 2008 when there were 2 days that we were in the 70s. We have a shot of possibly getting 3 days. We might end up a degree shy one of these days, but we are forecasting 70 tomorrow and 72 on Wednesday. The average, just to remind you, is 49, 21 degrees above average. We'll hit 60 early Thursday, but then temperatures will drop pretty dramatically. We're down to 48 on Friday with rain on Thursday afternoon. Prior to Thursday, though, we just have a few clouds drifting through. Here's your day tomorrow, lots of sun, and we do expect those winds to be light, and it'll be south winds and 70 degrees. Then on Wednesday, those winds will kick up a little bit more, and we have a little bit more cloud cover, but it does look as though we'll get to about 70 to 72 out ahead of a trough that will move in on Thursday, bringing that rain. Here's your day tomorrow. We'll start out in the low 50s at the bus stop, and then we'll be warming up to about 70 right before the sunset, which is tomorrow for the first time before 5 o'clock, 4:59 tomorrow. So for tonight, 52 degrees, a few clouds, mild conditions for the overnight hours. And then tomorrow, a gorgeous fall day, light south winds at sunrise tomorrow morning, an hour earlier, of course, at 6:54. And we should hit about 70 degrees. Your 7-day forecast looks like this. 70 tomorrow here in the city, but across the state, we're expecting 67 in Rochester, 70 here, 63 in Brainerd, 70 as well in Marshall, and 67 degrees in Jackson. Then we get to Wednesday, the record high is 74. We're close pretty much every day. Today the record was 72, so we were 2 degrees shy. 1975 is when that record was actually set, and we'll see if we get close to it on Wednesday. Regardless, it is going to rain on Thursday midday through the afternoon, so we'll hit 60 early on in the day, and we do expect it to be pretty windy on Friday and cool. Back to November standards for Friday and Saturday with partly cloudy skies. And then Sunday, those winds shift up out of the south. It looks pretty good as we have the Vikings at the bank. 52 degrees for the 8th of November. Not bad at all. 54 on Monday. We'll have KARE 11 News at 10 returning with Eric Perkins talking, of course, Wolves and also Vikings from yesterday. We'll be right back.
Mayo Clinic Sports Medicine Sports Desk.
All right, well, this is not the way this one was supposed to end. The script didn't go this way. Just like the Gopher game on Saturday night in football, an emotional game. It was set up for victory and triumph, but in the end, the Wolves fall to the Portland Trailblazers tonight here at Target Center. And as we've touched on multiple times throughout this broadcast, a very emotional night here in remembrance of Flip Saunders, the 60-year-old head coach who passed away 8 days ago to cancer. First quarter, Wolves get off to a quick start. Ricky Rubio knocking down the jumper, 12 points, 9 assists, and 9 boards for Rubio. Third quarter, Wolves down 4. Kevin Martin hits the off-balance jumper, team-high 24 points off the bench. Fourth quarter now, Wolves down 5. Karl Anthony Towns hitting the clutch 3 to make it 99-97, 11 points for the rookie. Controversial call late. Towns goes up for the layup and misses. Ball hangs on the rim and Andrew Wiggins tips it in, but they rule no basket. Martin with one last chance. He gets it stripped. Wolves lose a close one, 106-101, doggone it.
We had too long a lull in that second quarter and gave up too many points. And they did like a lot of NBA teams do. They're not going to quit playing. They just fought their way back.
All right, well, they play the Miami Heat here at Target Center on Thursday night. To soothe things a bit, perhaps, our Minnesota Vikings are 5-2. They're hot right now after that win at Soldier Field yesterday against a good Bears team. Or maybe not that good, but hey, it's a victory. And who knew head coach Mike Zimmer was so cerebral? This guy's short-term plan is beating the Rams this coming weekend. But make no mistake, there is most certainly a long-term plan as well. And at his weekly news conference today, Zimmer lets us in on the 4 steps of pigskin progression.
There's 4 learns in football. First, you learn how to compete. Then you learn how to win. Then you learn how to handle winning. And then you learn how to be a champion. We're somewhere in that stage of learning how to win and learning how to handle winning. So, you know, but we're still young, and these are things that we have to understand.
All right, in the midst of another little long-term break from their schedule, it would seem, the Minnesota Wild off until Thursday night when they take on the Nashville Predators. As for the Wild, well, so far this season, things haven't gone as smoothly for Devan Dubnyk as they'd hoped. The 29-year-old has been shaky, but not bad. Dubnyk's 2.59 goals against average ranks 25th in the NHL among goaltenders, but he's posted a 7-2-1 record. Mike Yeo knows, though, his goalie can perform better, but says Dubnyk steps up when needed most.
We can probably all say that Doobie hasn't been at his best, but what I can say is when he's needed to be at his best in games, closing out games, he's been his best. We can look at his goals against average and his save percentage, but one thing that I always put first is wins and losses, and he's doing pretty well in that regard.
And that'll wrap it up here from Target Center. 106-101, the final Portland wins it. But as I'm sure Flip Saunders would have said, it's a long season. Back after this.
There was plenty of buzz over the weekend about an asteroid that zipped by Earth on Halloween, but another space phenomenon had people gazing at the stars in Poland. Dashcam video shows a huge green light shooting across the sky in the eastern part of that country. It burned bright for a few seconds Saturday night before disappearing. Scientists say it was part of the annual Northern Torrids meteor shower.
Wow.
Here at home, there could be a reason to look up to the skies tonight and tomorrow, and Belle's going to explain all that.
Well, there is a moderate chance of seeing the Northern Lights both tonight and tomorrow night. They're saying it's a G3 on a scale of G1 to G7. I'm not positive exactly what that means, but the bottom line is there's a pretty good shot of seeing some Northern Lights. As I mentioned, pretty nice weather to do that as well tonight and tomorrow night.
Great weather. Thanks so much, Belle. Thanks for watching.
We appreciate it. Sunrise tomorrow morning. We'll see you tomorrow at 5.